crazy and exciting week coming up. Our first draft here together as a staff. I want to start off by thanking our leadership, thanking Coach Vrabel, Chad Brinker, Ryan Cowden, John Salge, and all of our area scouts. The process has been great. We've been very collaborative. We spent a lot of time together, probably too much time together at this point. But it was truly, a process in where, myself coming from San Fran, Chad coming from Green Bay, just implementing all the different things that we've learned and we find productive in with what we already do here allows us to, come together and make this a good process. So just wanted to say that to start. And then my only other request for today is for us all to have fun. Everybody looks so tight. Like let's lighten up, man, and have some fun today.
It could be there another time. So having a pick like this, how much does that weigh into the whole process of possibly getting a franchise quarterback?
Right. So to your point, you'd rather be picking at 32, every year. You'd rather be, at least 31, 32 every year. For this organization to be picking at 11 with the success that they've had here, it's kind of unprecedented. So ultimately picking at high, you want to be able to come away with what we would call a blue player, a player that's going to come in and contribute to you immediately. So with the hopes of never having to pick up this high again.
How do you back
in San Francisco when you made the big trade, Trey Lance, and knowing that life does go on and can be successful without all those picks to get your guy?
Yeah, and again, I would always go back to the coaching staff we had in San Francisco and the area scouts we had and the collaborative process that they had together, working to help us hit on those, those later rounds in college free agency. We've implemented the same thing here. Our coaches and our area scouts have been, locked in their respective offices these last 2 weeks, fine-tuning that and, I guess what we call the bottom of the board and the backboard. So those guys have been working really diligently, to find those players that allow us to supplement, the back end of the roster.
At pick 11,
Good football players. We're always just looking to add good football players, guys that bring versatility, explosiveness to our team, guys that can score with the football, and guys that can take the football away, however that comes. That's what we've been tasked to do. So I don't think it's going into it with one specific area of need per se. We just need to continue to add, quality players and people to our ball club. So this is my first experience with the S2, so I'm still learning it, myself. So there's still a space for me to grow. I know we use it, and we're, working through it. We met with them last week, so I can get a better understanding of how to use it, as a part of our analytical component, to evaluate a player. But myself, I'm still learning. It's my first experience with it, so I've only, really been diving into it over the last month or so.
Do you expect him for the NFL game?
No, I think as long as you know what those concepts are and what their reads are, I think it gives you a little more clarity as to where you may say, oh, he didn't run the route, but if you have a better idea of why that was done, then I think it gives you a different view to see.
Ransom those? I mean, I guess everyone's different. Some of them maybe getting more informational guys, or some of them ruling guys out, or some of it having to do with medical, or what kind of is the big picture of bringing a guy in?
I think the big picture of bringing a guy in is just, again, getting your hands on the more exposures you can get to the, to the player, figure out, again, these guys are not playing football anymore again until they get to this level, so the tape is the tape, and you'll hear me say it all the time. I'd rather get to know the person. I can go sit and watch the tape the next 6 hours and figure that part out, but we need to make sure that we're getting the right people in here and in this building and in this community. So part of it is learning the people, and then for those non-combine guys who you haven't seen, it's getting the medical, figuring that part out and making sure that we have hands on them so we can, better surround them.
What's been the toughest?
I get everything from who to pick, who to trade back to, who to trade, who not to trade, so.
What's the most popular one?
Oh, without question, is a question about Derek. I was at an event, and I was taking a picture, and, I have my arm around the lady, take a picture, and she leans in, you better not trade Derek. She scared the hell out of me because it came from like a motherly, authoritative place, and I was just like, yes, ma'am.
What's your standard answer when you get those?
I don't say anything. I just smile and kind of nod and hope that somebody else comes in and says something.
That being said, have you received?
Can you make it easier on the player, in this case on Ryan, to shut it down and say, no, like Ryan will be the quarterback this year?
So just to let you guys in, Ryan and I had a conversation back in February. That was between Ryan and I and Ryan and our organization. So Ryan knows where he stands with us, and that's really all that matters to me. Yes, I've talked to KB maybe 2.5 weeks ago, whenever it was. Been in constant contact with his rep. So again, it's our conversations will be, with those guys. We've had talks, and so it'll never be a situation where, I just charge them to just look at whatever comes out publicly. If it's not a direct quote from me, Mike, Amy, or anybody, then 9 times out of 10 it's not real. So
How about Derek, who we know isn't necessarily in town as much because he works out elsewhere?
yeah, I mean, we've talked. I think I talked to Derek maybe a month and a half ago. I've talked to Todd, his agent, but Derek not being here, I don't think it bothers anybody. I mean, you see the way that guy looks. He puts in the work, and he's going to take care of his body and be ready to go. So have no reservations. Again, if a team has serious interest, one way or the other, they'll let it be known, and you can have more pointed conversations versus just the standard, hey, you're looking to move up, you're looking to move down, and now that's the intel question. But I think coming into Thursday, you will know the teams that are serious.